Hello, I'm Arnold Naidu in Washington. The main story is brought to you by Al Jazeera. Clouds of ash from an Icelandic volcano continue to spread across Europe, grounding flights and leaving thousands of travelers stranded. Scientists say there's no telling how long the volcano will continue erupting.
The last time this volcano went up was more than 200 years ago, and it lasted for 2 whole years. So it's a real crisis for the aviation industry. It's a real crisis for the people of Iceland here, the farming communities and their livestock who are being poisoned by this volcanic ash. It's getting into the lungs, getting into the eyes. It's also poisoning all the grass. It's a desperate race against time now for the farmers here to save their livestock and to save their livelihoods.
That was Al Jazeera's David Chader reporting there from Iceland. Hundreds of villagers have gathered close to the epicenter of China's earthquake to pay their respects to the dead and a mass cremation. The number of people known to have died in the disaster has now risen to more than 1,400. Around 700 bodies were blessed by Buddhist monks, placed in a trench and set alight. Al Jazeera's Melissa Chan has more.
The bodies have been placed in a large pit, then doused in gasoline and lit. All morning, families have been bringing the remains of their loved ones over. Corpses of men, women, and children found from underneath the debris.
In a traditional Tibetan funeral, the body is laid out on a platform for the vultures. It's called a sky burial. But, as one girl sadly told me, there are simply too many bodies and not enough birds.
Iran's supreme leader has labeled the U.S. an atomic criminal. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's comments came as his country kicked off the first day of a nuclear disarmament summit in Tehran. It's brought together representatives from 60 countries as well as other international bodies. Al Jazeera's Nazanin Mosheri has more.
The Iranians are using this conference to give a message of peace. The question is whether the international community will listen. The United Nations Security Council appears to be moving closer to new sanctions.
And don't forget, you can keep up to date with all those stories and all the news on our website. That's at aljazeera.net/English.